Hi everyone. I have a few things I wanted to go over with you. So I just wanted to first let you know that I've graded everything from week 1, and 2, that you are all rock stars. This is the absolute first semester I've ever taught where every single person during the first week completed all of the assignments, and not one of you I have had to drop because of attendance. You are all amazing, and I am super proud and really, really excited about the rest of this semester. Okay, so you also all did a pulse-taking survey for me, an anonymous one, and where you placed your, if you placed a concern or something like that, I just want you to know that I'm going to address those concerns here. And like the thing was, it's completely anonymous. I'm just gonna kind of read what the concern was, and then talk about that concern, okay? So the first one is, can you give us a little less or a little less homework? And then they say, I'm just kidding, but you know I'm not. And believe me, I know you're not. The thing about it is that, imagine this is a 1-credit class, and so I know that that's kind of where this confusion comes into play, is because it's 1-credit class, you think there shouldn't be that much work. But you have to remember that this is 8 weeks instead of 16 weeks, okay? So the 1 credit is based on those 16 weeks pushed into 8 weeks. So if you imagine that only half of the work you do every week is what you'd be doing if it was 16 weeks, then it kind of seems like a lot less. You'll be done with this class in 6 weeks from now. I mean, that's not that far along, and it just means that you end up having a little bit more work than what you'd think, because it's a compressed course. Instead of 16 weeks, 8 weeks, okay? So that's why. And some weeks, if I know I'm asking you to do a lot more, I'll have you do less as far as journals or quizzes go, okay? So I always try to think about that. But, you know, good question, completely understand. There's another concern that if they're unsure if an assignment is submitted, what should we do? If you're ever unsure that you submitted an assignment correctly, just email me. I will be able to check and see if you did and let you know, okay? Let's see. I'm not sure if there's an option of having our modules open prior to the start of the week so that we have the option of working ahead. You do. I'm always going to have at least 2 modules open at the same time. So this first 2 weeks have been pretty hectic for me, so I haven't been able to go that far ahead, but starting next week, I'm going to try and have even more modules open for you, okay? Let's see, another concern. All right, so maybe perhaps instructions on how to locate articles in the modules would improve the online environment quality. There is a few times where I will have you do an assignment, and part of the assignment is not on the same page as where you're going to be submitting. And the reason I'm doing this, and I'll show you an example, let's go into modules, is because I know how a student uses Canvas, because I've been a student on Canvas myself. I know that what I look at, let me go to student view real fast. What I do is I will say, I'm going to go to grades, and I see this is what I need to do, and this is when it's due by, and so I just go through here and I click on these and I do the assignment, right? That's not how you should be going through and using Canvas. What you should be clicking on is modules and looking at, oh, this is week 1, this is how I'm supposed to learn. So if you're on week 2 here, if you follow my explanation video and then move along to the assignments for week 2, you'll see that I lay out exactly when things are due, right? And then you say next, and here's a reading and the quiz. Then there is a tutorial. Then I describe the library field trip assignments before you actually go to the discussion board, right? So I know why you use the grades. It's a lot easier to just go to grades or to go to syllabus and see all of the information laid out here. But you're missing things. You're missing stuff that adds to your learning. Okay? All right. So another concern was that if you have separate deadlines for an assignment, that they have to post separately, only one deadline is shown. And I know this is about the discussions. So the discussion board, like the getting to know one another, it has 2 due dates. Like you're supposed to post yours by Thursday and you respond to everybody by Sunday, but there's only one deadline for that video, and that's Sunday. And what I'm going to try to do, because this is a valid concern, that, I mean, really you should be reading this stuff and making a note of it in your own, I mean, like, as much as it would be nice, essentially part of this learning experience is that you need to take control and take charge of your own learning experience. So when we talk about, making a calendar system for yourself, that means you taking responsibility to read this and saying, okay, well, that's due by this day, and not relying on me to send you little pokes and reminders to get things done. However, if you go to your calendar setting, I don't know if it's going to let me, you should be able to see all of your classes over here in the calendar, and it'll list when things are due. Now, I can make a little calendar reminder on Thursdays to tell you, make sure to remember to do your discussion board. But sometimes I feel like that's kind of like I'm not your mom. Like, I don't want to have to be continually poking you to remind you. I do send out weekly reminders all the time. But at the same time, if that's more helpful for you, that's fine. But I'm also not one of those instructors that are going to be super strict about deadlines too. So if you get it done Friday instead of Thursday, I'm not going to give you less points. So maybe that's why I'm not doing that as well. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Canvas is nice, but it's not fully integrated into classes or the lives of students. So half the time the assignment may be late, given that Canvas does not send emails or notifications to students. Okay, so Canvas does send emails and notifications to you. You have to make sure that your notification settings are set up to receive them. And what you'll do to do that is, let me leave student view so I can show you. Okay. If you go into your account, there's a notification setting. So you click on account notifications, and then you can see that you can go down to announcements. When do you want to receive them? Make sure this email address is correct. You want to say when anything is due, when things get graded, submitted. Like, you just want to make sure that you're actually getting those notifications. If you have these as X, it means you're not going to get them. So that's why Canvas does send notifications to you. Okay. Okay, next one. I wish there was a better way to organize all of my assignments and their due dates. In Canvas, like I said, you can go to Calendar, and inside Calendar, you can choose just the class you're wanting to. So you could choose just the LIB 100, and when you click that, it'll tell you what's due, and you can organize yourself that way. The other way to do it is by just going through the modules and making a calendar system for yourself to keep yourself accountable. Let's see. Maybe the discussion forum could be better organized. With many students in a class, it becomes difficult to jump from one post to another if you need to, because there are so many of them in a sequence. I completely agree. As of right now, there really isn't. That's on Canvas's end, and they haven't fixed that yet. There is something, let's see, let's go to discussion boards again. If you're just wanting to read them, let's go to the getting to know one another, because there's quite a few in there. What you can do is you should be able to click unread, and it'll just go to the unread ones, then you can read those. That's a one way to get rid of things or to see things. You also want to make sure that you are subscribed to this. If somebody responds to you, you will get a notification. Make sure that your notifications are turned on to get those, but you can actually respond to that person in your email, because you'll get an email notification that somebody responded to you and that you can respond to them through your email, and it'll show up here. So you don't even have to like come back in here and find it. Okay, so that might be a way to help with that. This is the last one. I wish we'd have an option to open up a calendar on our course dashboard with the reminders of assignments, which, like I think I mentioned earlier, you do have a calendar. So use your calendar system right here. It should have all of your classes. You can click on just a few of them and it'll list those due dates. And it differentiates between your classes. So those were all of your concerns. The rest of the information was more of just like comments and things like that. But if you have any questions for me that you'd want to ask me personally, just email me and I'll write you back immediately. All right, you guys? And once again, let me remind you that I am having such a good time with you. You are amazing students and I am super psyched about this semester. Okay, thanks.